Digital marketing for HVAC and home service businesses.
Strategies and stories from industry experts to help you succeed.
What's up, y'all? I am here with Jerry Coulehan. Super pumped for today's podcast. He's tuning in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my hometown. And today we're going to get a little bit of a unique story, I think. Start off this one a little bit different. Jerry, thanks for coming on the show. And would you mind telling the listeners how we end up crossing paths most recently and found ourselves on this podcast today?
So I was actually washing my truck at a local car wash over in Brookline. And, of course, another Brookline guy noticed my truck, pulled a U-turn, and came back and started talking. So been keeping in touch ever since, and pretty cool way to meet somebody. So
yeah, totally. A little Keller commentary here. I'm cruising down the road. I just finished working out. It was probably, probably 8:15 in the morning, something like that, 8:30?
Yeah. It's definitely early.
Yeah, so it's pretty early, and I see a nice truck. Looks clean. And I could tell he was just getting started washing it. I was like, that's awesome. I was like, what a way to start the day. And I was like, that's my kind of guy. I was like, I gotta go talk to him. So I pulled a U-turn, like he said, get back, I parked, grabbed my business card, and was like, this is someone I want to have on the podcast. Someone who, is starting off their day, cleaning their truck, has a really nice, branding on their truck. Everything looked clean, and just see where it goes from there. Have a conversation, and made sense after we caught up for a little bit. We know a lot of the same people. Grew up in the same little town in Pittsburgh, and yeah,
small world, huh?
Small world. Super grateful for chance encounters like that.
Yeah, brother and sister, know them very well growing up. I've known of you, so it works out. But presentation's key. Presentation is key.
True that.
So thanks for having me.
No doubt.
It.
So I'd like to ask a little bit about your story to start. You just mentioned presentation is key. I'm not sure if that's something that you've kind of always believed in or stood by, but I'd love to hear how you got started with your business, what got you into the plumbing industry, what you were maybe doing in your early stages, and kind of what's helped you get to where you're at now.
Yeah, so I'm not like a second or third generational plumber. No one in my family really does construction. No one's ever been in plumbing. But I've always been in the construction field. So I started off as a concrete mason at 18, was in the union for a little bit, and then just explored different options. Probably had 10 jobs from the time I was 18 to 20, 21. And then, like everybody else, we all go through our tough years, trying to figure out who we are, what we want to do with ourselves, So at about 21, 22, I started working at Lowe's. And I was working at Lowe's and doing another job, concrete. And then Lowe's became full-time. I ended up meeting a guy. He was a plumber. Great guys. John Oakes. He owns another plumbing company in Pittsburgh.
Shout out to John.
Yeah. So he started me off, and I just took it from there. Worked with him for about a year. Went to different companies because everyone does different things. And been in the field for almost 15 years now. So what really got me in was seeing the success of the people that I was working for.
Oh, wow,
I
nice.
Feel like, having a family, I was getting married, and I've always had that drive.
Nice.
So my goal was always to get my master's and eventually be a foreman or a, project manager. And then But for some reason, I went the limit and pushed to have my own company, which is pretty crazy, because that was never really a goal of mine. Never thought it was possible. But I think I took a lot from everybody that I worked for.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Can I circle back on something there?
Yeah.
So you mentioned you met John, started working with him for about a year. How many years ago was that, would you say?
Early 20s, so I guess 13, 14 years.
Yeah. So 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you looked at some other companies. What year did you start your company?
It's 2021. So
2021.
Yeah,
okay.
going on 4 years. Crazy.
Going on 4 years. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And then during that, what would have been probably like 8 or 9 years before you started your business, what'd that look like?
It was tough.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to school. So for the apprenticeship for the plumbers, you have to do 4 years. You have to have 576 school hours and 8,000 working hours. So you got to work full time as a plumber while you go to school 2 nights a week. And but I was married and I have kids, so always had to push a little bit more.
It's a full plate
than people with no kids. So for the first, I'd say about the first 6 years, I was working a full-time job, going to school at night, 2 nights a week, and then 4 nights a week, I was actually doing Uber.
Oh, yeah.
4 nights a week. So it was nonstop.
You were really pushing. Yeah.
Really pushing. And
wow.
So I had to give up everything, like, no partying, no going out, no vacations, very little spending money. It was a sacrifice for at least 6 years. I mean, I'd say probably even 10 years. Sacrifice for about 10 years. And but that's what people don't get. If you put the work in now, you sacrifice, it pays off. It will give you more than you ever imagined.
Love hearing that.
But yeah, so
all right, so you put in all that time. I mean, you're working full time as a plumber. You're going to school 2 nights a week. You're Ubering 4 days a week, and then on top of all that, you have your family and all that to take care of.
Wait, hold up.
You're good.
1 sec. Hold on.
I can still hear you fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold up. I can't hear you at all.
You can't hear me at all? How about now? We back?
I don't know what's going. Hold up. I think it's my phone connecting.
Yeah, if you turn your Bluetooth off on your phone, it should fix it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
You can?
So my alarm went off on my phone.
You're good.
And I guess it switched me over to that.
All good. I'll circle back. I'll repeat myself just so that we can we'll be able to edit that out. It'll fix it, no problem.
Where were we? I can't remember.
I got you. I'm gonna repeat it. I'll repeat the last thing I said, and it'll drop us right back in. I'll just clap my hands so my wife knows how to edit it.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. So, amazing story. So I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing you were working in the field full time, going to school 2 nights a week, and then on top of that, you're Ubering. And then, most importantly, you're taking care of your family and needing to push kind of hard and sacrifice a lot to accomplish everything you have thus far. And your business now, you made that crossroads. What was it like taking that step from, working out in the field with support around you, with other companies, and then going out on your own? How was that transition?
So I worked during my apprenticeship, you got to do 4 years for the journeymans. Then you got to work as a journeyman for 2 years. And then it makes sense to go back to school for at least 6 months to do like a refresher. And then that's when you're eligible for the masters. So when you get the masters, that's when you're allowed to have your own company. Like you can't work by yourself until you have that masters.
Gotcha.
So I went from working with the first guy, John, then I went to a company and a lot of opportunity there. So that's where I got like my commercial, new construction, service, residential, all the aspects of the plumbing field. And then from that company, things weren't great there. So then I went with the guy that was actually my teacher in school. He offered me a job.
Nice.
And he did a lot of residential, commercial, industrial, and he would do digs downtown. So I got to see all that. It was actually a really good, it's not good to bounce around, but it is good to bounce around if you're not getting all the experience.
Yeah.
From the different,
Gives you more exposure
fields.
to different types of jobs.
Exactly. So even though I was bouncing around a little bit, I was still making it worth it because I was learning everything. As opposed to people that I worked with years ago that still only do the one thing. So I went to that company, and then I got a job offer through a buddy for the hospital. So when I went to the hospital, that was another complete different side of like plumbing, boilers, air handlers, all that stuff. So I worked there for about 2 years. That's when I got my master's. I was still a journeyman when I was hired there, but then I still pursued my master's, and I got the master's while I was there. Working at the hospital for about 2 years at, 30 years old, 31 years old. It's not for a young man that wants to stay busy. So as I was there, I noticed.
Is it like a whole lot of hurry up and wait?
Yeah, you got to do a lot of 3 to 11 shifts. You have to stay for overtime when they need you to. And it's a real 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
It's a real slow pace. You're waiting for something to happen. Those off shifts that you work, you don't do anything. You literally sit there. So I probably gained like 15, 20 pounds while I was working. I was, like not staying active.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to decline in my skill, So I started thinking like, should I go back and work for somebody, or should I go on my own? When I got the master's, everybody started saying to me like, you might as well go on your own and try to do your own thing. So I made a goal for 1 year. I said, save as much money as you can. I already had all my tools to get started. So I set a goal. I saved more money than I thought I would. And I ended up putting my 2 weeks notice in.
Nice.
And it was actually a pretty smooth transition, but I am the type of person that overthinks a lot. And I guess I worry a little bit more. I try to be perfect on everything, and I'm like, so, and plus, like, I do have obligations, kids.
Yeah.
ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know what comes with that, so there's alimony, child support.
Mm-hmm.
So I was worried about those things because now it's all on me. Health insurance, bills.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up working out good. I think giving myself a safety net and not just, making a rational decision and just quitting and seeing what happens like some people do. I've really been big on, if you start on a solid foundation, the chances of you succeeding are going to, be higher than if you just went out on a whim.
True that.
So I think the transition went good. Much better than expected. 100%.
All right. So you make the transition, now you're out on your own. And what were the first, say 2 or 3 strategies or things that you could point to that helped you gain initial traction, initial success running your own business?
I do have a lot of reviews online, and a lot of them tend to say that communication.
Communication.
If you're running late, call the customer. If you're going to show up early, call the customer. If you have to reschedule from Tuesday to Wednesday, call the customer. If you say you're going to be there at 8, be there at 8. If you say that, you can't make, I guess the first thing I've always thought or went by would be you can't make unrealistic promises to people. You always have to think worst case scenario. So like I told you before, I'm a person that worries, I overthink. So if I tell the customer, if I think in my head that the job's going to take me 2 days, I'll say 3. So if you get it done in 2 days, they're happy. Talking throughout the whole process of the job, trying to keep them, not just up in the bill and expect them to be okay with it before you do anything. Talk to them. Second, my boss always told me, you should leave a house cleaner than you found it. So if I work in somebody's house, even though I put plastic down, I'm going to wipe your table off. I'm going to wipe your glass off. I have a vacuum cleaner in my van, So try and leave a place cleaner than you found it, I think really sticks out because I've had people work at my house and it, stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And I guess third would be, I'm really good at what I do. So,
all right. I like that. Yeah.
My work and my I think I could talk to people good for the most part, so I think
I feel like a presentation. I feel like whenever you said you're really good at what you do and like talking to people, when you truly understand something, I feel like it's possible to communicate things to people in their own words and in their own in a way that that you're kind of meeting them at their level of understanding with whatever it is you're discussing.
In a way you can both understand. Yep.
Yeah, because obviously
gonna see what you see. They're not always going to look at things the way you look at them. So I agree with that.
And then when you were saying about you overthinking stuff and how much thought you put into making that transition, I'm hearing that you're actually thinking, and then you're putting a plan together to get you from where you're at now.
It's a lot about caring too. Definitely care. And, a lot of people don't care. I've worked with a lot of plumbers that we're roughing in a commercial building. All my pipes are perfectly straight, have the perfect amount of fall or rise. Theirs are all crooked. There's primer all over it. They're flopping around the walls. Their excuse is, well, it's going to get covered up with drywall, so why do you care what it looks like? But that's not the, when the inspectors come in and they see that the work's done right, that actually makes your life a lot easier because they'll eventually trust you. there's a lot of fly-by-night plumbers. They try to, just skate by and cut corners.
Yeah. I remember I lived somewhere one time. I'm having a memory. The plumber came through, fixed something. I came home from work, and I'm like, was there a tornado in my house? Like, what happened while I was gone? So
yeah, I've had people work at my house. I mean, there's dust all over the place. There's shavings. Yeah. So I think presentation is definitely big on it. How you pull up to somebody's house. Don't drive your tire over their grass. Don't hit the retaining wall. It's actually common sense stuff.
Yeah. And I saw some of your pictures of your work and what you're talking about, everything being straight, everything being clean, put together nice. That's another reason why after we connected that day at the car wash and I got to see your work, I was like, oh, wow, like his stuff looks good. Like definitely want to connect with another business owner who, I could tell takes pride in their work. I can tell goes the extra mile. I can tell they're good at what they do. I got to read your reviews, all that stuff. And
reviews mean a lot to me, honestly. It's not easy to get reviews. People are busy, so to take the time out to actually remember and go on there and leave a review. And I mean, if you see a lot of my reviews, they're pretty long reviews. Like people do go into detail, and
I'm mistaking a couple of them for a love letter.
Right.
But
there are some of those out there.
They're definitely animated. There's people that were descriptive. There's people that were real, concise. But you can tell they appreciated you for the work you did for them.
That's why I stay owner operator right now. Like everyone says, well, why don't you hire people? But like, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
All right. So I know you got a little bit of more to attend to tonight. Last question. We talked about how you got started. We talked about what you would point to or attribute some of your success to. Definitely, I feel like great advice for anyone who's looking to get started on their own or even be a great employee. Last, I'd like to ask, from here, you started talking about, people telling you to hire people. And you also said people told you to go out on your own. What do you see for your future? What do you want to start doing that you haven't done yet? What do you want to accomplish that you haven't yet? Or what do you see the future looking like?
I would like to partner up maybe with somebody that knows, maybe not partner, but I would like to grow the company into something, bigger, but I don't think I'd want to go too big. So maybe like having another guy like me and then 2 helpers, someone that I can trust to like do jobs like I can do. And then 2 helpers, have 2 trucks going, start getting into more commercial. I like doing dig jobs, water lines, sewer lines, gas lines, rough-ins, new builds. I love doing that. I love any job that involves a blueprint. Where you build something from the ground up, and you have a company getting ready to set a foundation, and you got to get all the utilities in. That's stuff that you can see that you started from the ground up. And when it all comes together, it's something that you can sit back and be something to be proud of, and something with your name on it.
I'm feeling like that's way more your cup of tea than fixing someone else's poor work.
Yeah. I mean, service is nice. Like you get to meet a lot of people, and but I would definitely like to grow a little bit. Probably get like 2 or 3 trucks, get a shop one day, and but I'm only 36, so God willing, I'm around for another 30, 40 years. It gives me another hopefully 10, 20 years to take this thing where I want to go. But maybe start doing like investment properties,
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What do they say? Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
no, it was not.
Yeah.
You know, and it's good to build something on your own because then nobody can take it from you.
True that.
You know, and nobody can say at the end of the day that, you know, he did this because of this person or, you know, I am the definition. If you work hard, you know, you will exceed your expectations. So, you know, just keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, you know, one day it will be something more than I ever thought it would be.
Nice.
But as of now, I'm on my own. So,
yeah,
you know?
as of now, you're on your own. Anything, I'll leave it to you. Any parting words for our listeners today? I'd like to let everyone know, you know, this is a platform for you to, you know, speak to other people in your industry. Potential customers might see this. And then also with you talking about potentially wanting to work with others, have some helpers. I think this platform is a great way for people to get to know you, and maybe they're reaching out to work with you rather than, you know, you needing to go and find someone. So kind of let that be the stage to let you share your parting words.
Yeah, well, I want to say thank you for having me on. Thank you for stopping that day at the car wash. You know, things happen that are unexpected, and you never know what the new day is going to bring you, you know. So thank you. Give me the opportunity to come on here. But I don't know. I guess I would say to any young men out there or women, you know, if you're looking to get into a good trade, something that you can put in your own hands on where you want to take it. Plumbing is definitely I'd say plumbing, HVAC, and electrical, but I think plumbing's the best. So I think that's the most necessary trade needed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of electricians will argue with me about that, but I would definitely say for the young kids coming up, you know, a lot of kids want to do, no offense, but like podcasts or they want to do like social media. I think a lot of people forget, you know, how this world operates, you know, and like during COVID, who was working? Healthcare workers and blue collar people, you know, everyone else shut down. So I'll definitely say to all the younger ones out there, definitely look into the trades. And yeah, I think that's it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
so,
before we jump off, I just want to say, if you want to find Jerry or work with him, hire him, you'll be able to find the links to his social media, his website, Google business profile. All that will be in the show notes. If you want to shout out an email address or Instagram handle or anything for people to find you, where would they do that?
So no Instagram yet, but if you go on Facebook, Coulehan Plumbing LLC, and then I do have a website that you might have to touch up a little bit.
All right.
Coulehan.com. Yeah, and then I'm on Google. You can see all my reviews. Any contractors out there watching this, you can definitely hit me up. Talk business. Looking to get into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it.
Sounds good. We'll talk soon.
All right, buddy.